So this is a game where I'm just practicing my Rengar. Most of the players in it are multi-season gold players. I think the Ziggs on my team is a platinum player, but you know it's normal, so they're probably off role or off their main champions, that kind of thing. But it's still good for me to practice against. For me, this clear isn't bad. I think I get to scuttle around 3 minutes 35. That's way too slow, even with a leash. So we take with this fight with the Lilia. I think it's a bad decision. My laner has already been chunked, and so their Yasuo has priority. I've already secured the scuttle, so we just really don't need to fight this 2v2. But I want to try anyway, test my mechanics. I could have even got out of this. It's clear my mid laner doesn't want to continue the fight, but I jump back in on the Yasuo anyway, which seals my fate. The one advantage, or one kind of silver lining, is that I take the Yasuo's Ignite and get him kind of low, which allows my mid laner to then... Here I commit a pathing mistake, ganking top when the dragon is spawning. Normally that just gives the enemy team a free dragon. The set was probably going to kill or beat the Pantheon anyway, and all I do is secure the kill for my own death, which is not good. Silver lining here being that I get a bone necklace, tooth necklace stack. But I luck out, my team cover me, defend the dragon long enough for me to get there, get the kill on the Lilia and her flash, which is nice. My team then leave me to dragon alone, which is questionable. The Yasuo bamboozles the Viego and ambushes me on dragon, getting the kill, but then my team turn up and kill him and get the dragon, so it all works out. I head top to where my camps are and where the scuttle is spawning. I see Yasuo backing, so I go for an invade on the Lily. I needed to drag the red far into the bush from the start, and I was genuinely surprised that the Yasuo got back so quickly. Yasuo played this well, but I guess what I could have done is once I noticed he was matching me for speed on getting to the other side of the blast cone, is to go back to the other side of the blast cone before hitting it, and so knock him over the wall and me to the Baron, to the Herald, and knock me away back into the jungle. I managed to get him to commit his flash at least. So on the back of that, we pick another fight with the Yasuo defending mid. I chase him with my ult and die for it. I'm slow on the W, which might have saved me from a little bit from his burst. It probably wasn't a good idea to chase, but on the other hand, Viego gets the kill off the back of it again. Set dies solo top. I move to my bot lane, who I see are fighting, and I'm pretty sure a gank is coming for them, so I move to shadow them. It does, works out, we get a kill, and I guess I'm happy that I managed to 4-stack W cleanse the Lilia's ult, but then my team overcommits to the tower, and I did not feel I could support them in a tower dive at that point, so I wait in the bush, and nothing comes of it, so I move on. After Ziggs dies on the tower push, the enemy start dragon, and I go in and successfully steal it, dying in the process. I get the Herald. I use the Herald unintentionally, fat fingering, trying to press my R. It works out in the end in a way, in that using a Herald so quickly after getting it didn't leave the enemy much time to respond, and in fact actually we take the tower whilst I'm fighting and dying to the Yasuo again. Again, during that fight with the Yasuo, I'm slow on my 4-stack W, which would have made that fight a lot closer. I shadow the Viego as he pushes tower. I know people are going to come across to him. Unfortunately, it's the Yasuo, and I pick a fight solo with him and die again. Again, it's pretty close, but feeding him again and again like this is too much. I need to back off him and kind of like try to lure him away from the Viego, so the Viego has time to get out. So that death before dragon wasn't ideal. I rush back as quick as I can and try to go for the steal. I'm pretty sure I would have got it if I hadn't got caught in the Bard ult. The way the enemy had moved off out of the pit would have given me, I think it was on like 200 health. I think I could have done that in a couple of auto attacks. I smited too early just before I got ulted. Ultimately, was it worth it? Probably not. I'm going for high risk plays this game, and they tend to be sort of working out for me, and I don't think that's a good policy to follow going forwards. We pick off the Pantheon, again a bit of a risky engage, but it works out. Fall back to clearing, back to base and cash the gold. Set dies overextending in top lane. I go back to shadowing the Viego and we pick off the Pantheon again. My contribution isn't huge, but it's right that I'm there. We then pick off the hopelessly outpositioned Nautilus in the river. However, we lose both Viego and Ziggs in the ensuing fight. Yasuo's Windwall is really annoying to try to play around as Rengar, I hadn't realised. We disengage, I take a bit of Ezreal poke, which I heal up with my W no problem. Do not fear that champion whatsoever. Secure the scuttle, mini objective, very important still in the mid game as in the early. And this is probably my most impactful contribution to the game, in that we finally take down the Yasuo, good target priority in going back onto the Ezreal, and then help take down the Lilia, transitioning straight into Dragon. Yes, happy with that. I see Pantheon trespassing my jungle, move over to take him out. I did not realise the Nautilus was with him too, and I really shouldn't have died here. All I had to do was just walk away from the Nautilus, and Set would have had him easily. Yeah, I should not have stayed and fight. Did give my shutdown to their support, who was probably the worst player on their team, so that's a silver lining, I guess. I see my Set fighting and move to help. Oh my gosh, the damage on that simultaneous Set true damage punch and Rengar Q. Wow. That, I think, was an over-ambitious engage by the Set. I should not have followed him in because I achieved literally nothing except feeding Yasuo another kill, and we were just lucky Ziggs was able to pick him off on the back end. I juice myself good on camps, lots of lovely experience, and get the all-important scuttle. We go for Dragon, obviously it doesn't end well. I don't know that it was a mistake to start it based on the information we had. Viego was basically hitting their top tower and threatening their inhibitor. And there were 3 of us. I mean, maybe we should have waited for the Set, but that would have seemed to take too long. Yeah, I don't know. Yasuo tries to ambush me in the river again, but I get the scuttle and get away using my ult, and anytime I'm drawing him away from my team is a win for me, I think. So this really tilted me. So we know Yasuo's pushing the bot, going to push the bot tower. I'm spamming, pinging my Set, but he's wandering gormlessly up mid lane, and I go in to try to stop the Yasuo by myself. I know he's a better player than me. I know I'm going to die, and I do pretty much instantly without doing much. Set responds eventually, gets there, and luckily is good enough to take down the Yasuo, but that could have gone quite badly for us. I guess I needed to recognise that I just cannot take the Yasuo one-on-one, give the tower, and try to play with my Set. But I did not know that he was going to respond at the time that I made the call. So what's happened just here is we've got a pick on the Pantheon in the top lane, and I got caught out by the Yasuo as I was rotating down towards Dragon. Again, like, I didn't need to be there in top lane. So now my team's without me for the Dragon Soul fight, and they do a great job of zoning the Lilia off and getting it and killing her. We then swing into Baron, and with that the game is pretty much done. I get a nice little pick on the Nautilus before we go in on their base, and then just hang around in the wings waiting for my R cooldown to come back up so I can go in again and just like keep people off my carries. I go in on the Lilia and get her and die for it. Probably not worth it. Again, just should prioritize playing safe over these risky plays. And I think that really kind of sums up the game in that I died a lot. I was lucky enough that my team was able to get value off of my deaths and the plays that those were creating, or the kind of abilities and cooldowns that they were taking out of my opponents, which they could then take advantage of on the backswing. So that was the game, those were my thoughts, and the road to Rengar continues.